This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
I think that's pretty fair for a guy. Once a quarter, 4 times a year, you trim toenails.
If it needs to be done, it needs to be done. I don't think that you can go by the calendar year.
You probably wish I would, because I probably maybe really do it like twice a year.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
The people that really are drawn to the 12-step program, one piece of those 12-step groups is because it's people from all different varieties and lengths of time of sobriety.
It is the 3rd of February, 2024. My name's Corey Winfield.
My name's Marney Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast coming from the East. No, it's the home studio location.
Right.
Not the East, it's the home studio. Decided we were going to call it that. Yeah, and it's good to have you on, Marney. It's been
forever.
A couple months, I think, since you've done a podcast. Almost as long since I clipped my toenails last.
I think that's like the only open you've played when we've been doing podcasts together lately.
Yeah, kind of happens. But I played that on purpose because I did clip my toenails on the 24th. Oh, no.
Yeah, he's literally looking at a calendar.
Yeah,
as we speak.
Well, I can actually tell you because I was gonna do it on Martin Luther King Day, but I got a little busy that day. Nope, it wasn't then. It wasn't the 20th. Oh, that's February. My bad. Hold on. Yeah, 24th of January. Clipped toenails.
That's good.
Yep.
That's great.
And then I threw out my back doing it. I don't know how you hurt your back clipping toenails.
I don't know.
It was serious work. And I talked to the guys about it, and I think they thought I was joking, but I really wasn't. Things you do in recovery, man. Start clipping toenails once a quarter.
Yeah.
You make that goal, and you just go from there. But things for us have been pretty well. We saw Tyrone today.
Yeah.
He came by, and we went out for lunch. That was nice. And things seem to be going well at the 217 Recovery Center. Mm-hmm. And we have an event planned for the 29th.
So excited.
End of the month, it's Recovery Stories, Message of Hope, Part 2. And Justin, Mitch, and I think Adam, and a woman by the name of Rose, they're going to do the stories. And then a guy by the name of Mike and a guy by the name of Jeff going to do the Message of Hope part. Mm-hmm. And it'll be pretty good. I put together the video from the first one, and I submitted it to Amazon Prime Video. So we'll see if it goes through there and clears the copyright stuff, and if they want to copyright it or pay us like $8 to do it, and that's cool. I'm hoping it would be free for everybody.
Right.
It's nothing that I did to try to make money off of. I just want people to see it.
And that's just you having put together the speakers that were at the last event.
Yep.
And kind of putting that and editing it a little bit and jazzing it up like you do.
Yeah, because we had 4 cameras going, and I think for like Kendra and Mary, the way they were standing, I can only use 2 of the camera shots. Mm-hmm. And Mary, it's like she was sitting, but she moved her chair to the side, so the microphone just left a big shadow right in the middle of her face. Mm-hmm. Which I was like, oh, like how can there's no way to get it out of there. So it's like, okay, well, live and learn. So I'm going to tell everybody else this next one, do not move. Like I set the cameras up for a reason, and I didn't really know what I was doing the first time. It was just like, let's turn them on and let's roll with it. And now I know, but it still wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. And it just has the 4 storytellers, which I was one of them. And then it has Mary, and then it has David G, which he was great.
So is that available now then, or not yet?
Well, I submitted it, I don't know, maybe like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And I was talking to my buddy Ron Robinson, and he was telling me about the rules, I guess you could say, when you upload videos to Amazon Prime Video. Mm-hmm. And if you have an email in there, any kind of like contact info, they will not do it. And then you have to resubmit it, and he said it takes longer. So when he told me that, I was like, oh shit. So I went back, and then I deleted the video that I had already uploaded, which took forever. And then I had to upload it again after I took like my email out and stuff like that. The only thing I left in was, it was a 217 recovery production.
Right.
which I don't see them having a problem with that because they didn't put it together.
Right.
Now, if they want to copyright it and they want to distribute it, then they can put all the crap they want in the middle of it, in the beginning of it, or whatever. But as far as like any contact info or anything like that,
Sure.
there's really nothing there. So we'll just wait and see. It should, I don't know, be another week maybe.
And what's the length of it?
56 or 7 minutes long, so almost an hour.
Okay.
Because recovery stories were like 3 to 6 minutes, because I did like 6.5 minutes. And then I think Mary talked for like 12, and then David G talked for like 25.
Okay.
But it's good stuff. And yeah, I had to use the different cameras to edit it, because the straight on camera, people kept walking in front of it. So when they walked through in front of it, I have to cut over to a different camera and then kind of cut back, and people coughing. I think might have been Tyrone. It's just, you hear just people coughing. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. But I did add music to it, which kind of, I guess, not drowns out the cough, but it doesn't make it as
apparent,
noticeable,
sure,
prominent. I don't even know. It's just like,
hey, we're real people doing a real thing in real time. So it's not like, all right, message of hope, take 5. That was it. Whatever came out's whatever came out. So
yeah, but it's pretty cool, and I think people would really like it. And there's some really good messaging in there, and we'll just see if when it comes out on whatever, I will let you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's workout time for our kitty.
He has this thing where he picks, like I said, the worst times that he decides he wants to run on his little wheel.
I was like, what is it? And I'm like, oh, yeah, cat.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that noise? It's a big wheel. The cat just runs on over and over.
Imagine like a hamster wheel, but way larger.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's really awkward. Like, there's really no good place to put it.
No, it's really not. But if you had like a 6-bedroom house, it would be like, put it wherever. Put it in the cat's room. But
If you're a cat person and cat owner, if you've ever gotten a kitten, like that year mark, like they're full of energy and they're just like, yeah, I can run myself right into a wall. Like they don't even care.
Yeah.
Like our cat just runs into the window. He runs just wham. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like it looks kind of cool. Like this morning, he like ran in and jumped and then like kind of hit his back, like his ass on it. Like, bam, like he was going to go up and like jump off it or something.
Kind of like dirt biker doing tricks.
I just looked at it, I shook my head. I was like, man, that dude's crazy.
I know.
But then they kind of calm down and then they just lay around and do nothing.
Yeah.
But he's in that stage right now where it's like, it's crazy. I wonder if human babies do that too.
No, I don't think so. Not to that extent.
Yeah, we're due with our boy in May. How's the pregnancy going?
It's going well. It's going really well. Obviously, any woman who's been through it knows there's unpleasantries about it, discomfort and just kind of like everything's a little more difficult to do. But I'm not really super complaining now because I can't, there's still more to come with the 3rd trimester. So ahead of us, let's say.
Yeah.
So it's kind of even though you're not the one with the, baby in your belly, it still affects, us as a family and stuff, which we're talking about possibly. I can't believe you never heard of what a baby moon is. I wonder if anybody here knows what a baby moon is. Because you made it sound like it was something that I made up.
Yeah, well, I'd never heard of it. I guess I really don't know a lot of people who have babies, I guess, or talk about it. So, yeah, when you brought it up, I was like, what? You just want to take a vacation? And then I brought it up to your mom. Your mom was like, oh, no, you guys just went to Seattle. You don't need a vacation. I was like, okay, mother-in-law.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that I wasn't there for that comment because that's baloney.
Yeah, because now I'm starting to think like, man, 18 years is a long time, to not just go off and, we can go off and do stuff, but like to have one last bang.
Right.
Because when we went to Seattle, we didn't know. We were hoping
that
would be the last like crazy vacation we took.
Yeah.
But now it's like, man, we can really get another one in real quick. Mm-hmm. So we'll just have to figure out where you'd want to go, I guess. Like these are sober people problems.
Yeah.
These are like good things to have. And when I was thinking about stuff the other day about, how far I've come in the past few years, and you too, how far you've come. And the things that we're doing now in life are the things that we wanted to do at one point, whether we knew it or not. And here we are doing it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Tyrone today after you left, and Tyrone were outside. I gave him a shirt, a couple of 217 recovery shirts. And I was talking to him, and I was like, like if you'd have told me this is what I'd be doing, 5 years ago, or even, 4 years ago, when we first went to the UFAM rally, like I got out of treatment in March, early April of 2019 is when we started the podcast. And then we're on our way, man. I guess that was 5 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. If you'd have told me, like when we were at that first UFAM rally, which I got them to give us a media sponsor. And again, you can go back and listen to the podcast from then too. It's probably bad, but could be entertaining. Mm-hmm. Just to hear what we were doing and what we were saying and where we were at. But we showed up. They gave us a sponsorship, so we didn't have to pay anything to be a part of it. We talked about it a lot on our podcast. And then we got there, and they told us they were going to give us an 8-foot table. Oh, no, they said they were going to give us a 6-foot table. So we bought a 6-foot table cover, which I screwed up. I tried to iron on a logo. It didn't work. It was horrible. When we get there, then they got 8-foot tables. So like our table cover didn't even fit. Like it was just, we just had to make the best of it. And now, honey, because you've been there, we look pretty good when we show up.
Yeah.
Like we look like we have it together. But back then, it was just me and Rob. It was, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was, but yeah, if you'd have been like, hey, and this is what you're going to be doing, a few years from now, I would have said, what are you talking about? How am I going to do all that?
Yeah.
It's nuts, but that's what happens. And I was telling Tyrone too, like early in my life, early in my career, I knew I wanted to, be on the radio. I knew I wanted to do this and do that. And I would go after my goals. And then when I started drinking and, smoking pot and all that, like big time, that's when my dreams kind of became something that I would just tell people. Oh yeah, I want to do that one day. I want to do that. I want to be this. I want to do this. But now that I've had, 5 years of being sober, when I say things, I know that I can achieve them. Mm-hmm. And it's a part of like, well, how are you going to do it? I told you that I was going to make a movie. Well, I should write a script.
Yeah.
And so I bought a book on how to write a script. Mm-hmm. And I started reading that. And there's going to be things in that book that it will, I don't want to say send me on a little detour for making the movie, but there'll be things that I learned that I'll have to do before I make the movie. Right. And these are just part of the process of wanting to make a movie. Now, if I just like, hey, I'm going to make a movie, and you're like, well, how are you going to do that? I'm like, I don't know. Just watch a bunch of them and buy a camera. That's not really
right.
I'll just say I'm going to make a movie, and I'll be 80 years old. And like, oh, I'm going to make a movie one day. And you'll be like throwing pancakes and coffee mugs at me and like, shut up. Shut up with that stupid movie. You didn't make it and you're not going to. I'd rather you say, yeah, you did that once and it sucked. So shut up.
No.
Go to work.
No, I mean, like, I think you're right. I think with setting goals, and especially since, where you're in a place where you're healthy enough and sane enough to have the goals that we come up with be realistic, right? And it's not that far off base. And we're also realistic about the fact that they don't happen overnight. And I was never in that healthy space when I was in my active addiction. Even if I had some kind of idea in mind of something bigger that I wanted to do down the line, it's like I didn't have any idea how I would get there. I couldn't even wrap my head around like what would be the first steps to like make that happen, because I wasn't healthy. And And it didn't seem achievable. So if you didn't actually believe that you could do it, then you wouldn't actually think about it in a realistic way to an approaching making that actually happen, and all that stuff comes with time. So like these people that are in early recovery, like there's nothing wrong with having big ideas. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, what are the small things that you're going to do to get to that bigger thing? And make sure first things first, make sure you have like your ducks in a row for your own health. Like, you make sure you're physically healthy? Do you have, do you have a job that, that's conducive to your recovery? So, it's not putting your, sobriety in danger. And are you budgeting correctly? Like, there's all these little life skills that we just did not address when we were in active addiction. And so, yes, always have your big goals and your small goals, but like stay in the here and now too, to make sure you don't get too far ahead of yourself and, then end up back at square one. Like, that's the kind of mentality I needed to have when I was kind of like laying things out for myself.
Because at one point I thought being sober 6 months was impossible. Mm-hmm. A year, that's crazy. And I tell people that first year, and maybe it's because you're getting a coin every month. And the thing I did, and I've repeated this over and over on the podcast, what I did with my coins is I started giving them to my mom. Because then they meant something. At first, I was like, I'm not getting another 2-month coin, another 3-month coin. I've collected so many of those. I'm not going to do it anymore. But then I realized, okay, well, I'm going to send them to my mom. Because that'll mean something to her. And now it meant something for me to get those coins. So that was another reason, to keep going every month, to get another one to my mom.
Yeah. And
once you hit that year, I think, was it the NA, you get a 1.5-year coin or tag or something.
I think so, yeah.
One of those or something. But for like AA people or whatever, like I don't really get my coins from AA anymore. I just go online and get them. Actually, you get them for me.
I do.
And I buy mine and send it to my mom. Mm-hmm. So it seems like it goes by a lot faster after you get that year. Mm-hmm. And our man, Jonathan down in Cadillac, he was telling me, like, can't believe I've got, like, I think maybe 3 years now. Mm-hmm. 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. He's doing really good. He's in that point where if he looks at drinking, he looks at it like, whoa, why would I want to do that today?
Sure.
Why would I just stub my toe into the wall? That's not a good idea. And it does. It flips to where you start looking at it that way. And that's a good place to be. But with the goals, you can do it. And like you said, Marnie, it doesn't happen overnight. All the stuff I want to happen overnight, most of us do. We want it now. We want it today. We want it. Come on, let's go. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work that way, but you can make progress every single day. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's really a lot of days. I mean, just look at a year, 365 chances to get better every single day. Yeah.
And I think a lot, too, of the fact that why we lose that momentum of like taking the little steps towards the big goals is because we don't have the confidence in ourselves. And like, at least for me, is I was able to maintain my sobriety and, every day just be like, hey, I did it again. I did it again, and keeping those expectations and accountability for myself, but not like throwing myself a friggin' parade every, it's kind of like, this is my life now. Like, this is how I need to live my life if I want to be able to live and have a productive lifestyle and interaction with the world. And so the more I was able to do that on a daily basis, the more confidence I had in myself. And the more it was like, let's keep chipping away at this stuff. Let's keep doing these things these little things that I do. And then maybe I came up with something that was a little bit bigger, a little bit more challenging, but it didn't seem so self-defeating. It was like, because when we had these big ideas, even in early recovery, even if we were sober for a minute or two or a year or whatever, and we're like, yeah, that's never going to happen. I don't even want to put that on my radar. I'm setting myself up for failure because that's too big. Only good shit like that happens to like other people, not to me, which is totally not true. But if you keep staying clean and sober and recognizing these little victories, you'll recognize how much potential you actually have. And it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And there'll be times you want to give up. There'll be times it's hard. There'll be times you just want to throw your hands up and be like, I can't do it. But you got to stick with it. You got to trust God. You got to have faith. You really do.
Or the times when bad stuff happens and you're like, why is this happening? I've been staying sober. like aren't I supposed to be getting like these free passes from negative things and from misery? Because look at me, I have not picked up a drink or drug. And it's like, no, sweetheart, that's life. That's just, these things happen. And you just need to, navigate through them best as you can. Because I know drinking and drugging is not going to make them go away or make them easier.
Yeah, and I look at it like I'm a pretty smart guy because they say you learn from your mistakes. I learned quite a bit. A lot of stuff I know. But that's another thing, too, is people will compare themselves to other people, and they shouldn't do that. And don't let people rob you of your dream or your goals. People will laugh. People will tell you can't do it. They'll judge you for it. I was talking about that today in the online meeting we had at the 217 Recovery Center. Is about other people not understanding what your dreams and your goals are, but at the same time, when somebody questions you or maybe questions your sobriety, hey, were you drinking again or what's going on? And people get mad about that. Oh, I can't believe they wouldn't trust me. Oh, no. You earned that distrust. You really did, because you've lied, you've cheated, you've done things that you said you didn't do, and you got away with it a couple times probably too. But so if somebody doesn't trust you when you're in early recovery, you earned it. You earn that distrust, just like you have to earn that trust back. Mm-hmm. So even if you got 2 years, 3, it doesn't matter. If somebody questions you or your sobriety or your whatever, nothing you can do about it. You can't change. The only way you can change someone else's mind by actions, by showing what you do on a daily basis and moving that forward. And then they can't really say that about you anymore.
Right.
Like Mitch was telling me that somebody who's like, I think he's in prison now for meth, but he was running around with the homeless community here in Traverse City doing hood rat stuff. And he told somebody from one of the shelters in town that, that 217 recovery, that's the bunch of guys that say they're sober and they're really not. And Mitch was like hurt by that, and I'm like, well, people are going to say dumb shit, but if he came or if he knew me, this guy, which like I said, I'd have to write him because he's in prison now, but there's no way he would say that, oh, you're not sober, you're not really in recovery. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't say that about any of us, but people like to talk shit, people like to say things, but I know for a fact that I'm doing the things I need to do to move my life forward, and I have the track record where I can just point back and go, look at this. Do you think I could do any of that if I wasn't sober? Are you kidding me?
And that's kind of unfortunate that, people like that, because at the end of the day, hurt people and sick people, who don't feel good about themselves tend to try to take stabs at other people to make themselves feel like they're not the only one that's messing up. And even if it's completely 100% untrue, and that's sad, but yeah, you can't go by what other people say out there. You have to just worry about your own self-worth and, have confidence in yourself.
That's what you got to do. But something else I want to talk about today, and I still want to keep it around a half hour, but just real quick, I heard about this on the radio the other day. I was driving home, and the ticket, they were talking about this new product that's out called High Seltzer. And I just wanted to be completely honest and talk about it. I've talked about it with you, Marney. I think I have. I know you were there when I was talking about it a couple of times, but it's High Seltzer, and it has the I can't remember
ingredient.
Yeah, it's Delta 8.
I think that's what you said earlier. Yeah.
Delta 8, something like that, and like the weed that you would smoke and all that stuff or whatever has like Delta 9 that gets you really super messed up. At the Delta 8, it's a legal thing. It's kind of what's in the gummies and stuff. It's more of a mellow. One weed guy told me when I was talking to him about it. He said, "Yeah, it's like a diet. It's like a diet weed. You still get high from it, but you won't be all like crazy or anything." Well, this High Seltzer, it's like 0 alcohol, 0 sugar, 0 chemicals, whatever. Blah, blah. It has 1 chemical in it, the Delta 8. But they say drinking a bottle will get you the same buzz as drinking 2 glasses of wine. but it leaves your system quicker. And I started thinking, I was like, man, that'd be pretty cool. And then I really started thinking about it, and I thought, oh no, that's dangerous. Like, I couldn't just have a beer. I wouldn't stop. You know, like if I started drinking this stuff to get a buzz. Okay, first of all, why do I want a buzz? It feels good to be present.
Yeah.
It really does. And if I drank that, and I'm sure other people with the drinking problem like myself would hear this and think, oh man, that's what I'm going to do then. Because it's legal and I can do it and it gives me a buzz and it's safe and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it would be safe for me. I can't even have a beer.
Well, if you really want, for me, at least,
I have 100 of them.
And this is just hearing this, like even when I heard it, you explain it for the first time, it's 100% for me. It's just like you're describing a mood and mind altering substance. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't care what the label says. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not on probation. It doesn't matter if I consume something and I test positive in my pee or whatever. I'm not interested in taking anything that is a mood or mind altering substance.
We've been altered for so long.
So it's like, if there's no appeal in that, there's no loophole that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for some kind of like validation of what some label says that makes you feel some kind of way, but it's technically not a thing that we'd have sworn off for life. That's that's BS. So that's, yeah.
Just as someone,
nope.
I don't know if it was, the former addict thing that is just immediately, I'm like, oh, wow, like that's pretty cool. But then, the recovery Corey comes in and it's like, whoa. Isn't that a little close to home? You're going to drink something that gives you a buzz or mind altering, Didn't you do that before? How'd that turn out? Oh, you almost killed yourself. Okay, great. And you're going to try that again for what? For a little buzz because you don't want to be present for something? What's going on? And you were not present for 20 years. Like, why would I want to go back to that? And yeah, a little close to home. Oh, I can drink it? Oh, that's my shit. But just the brain, hearing it and going, oh, But it's that, and in those moments that you really have to catch yourself. As someone who's in recovery, someone, who wants to live a different life than what you were living before, you have to change. You have to change what you do and change how you think. And I'm not a bad person for it coming to my brain because that's just a natural thing that it would do, I guess, because I'm a former addict. But you have to catch that because it'd have been easy for me to go, let me get online and order these. But I had to go, no. Like that's a horrible idea. And you have to like think about it. Now, do I care if my brother or sister do it? Nope. I have no control over them. I don't think they're bad people if they do it. Nope. I'm just talking about for me. My aunt, my uncle, they could all do it. I don't care. My mom could do it. You know what? I don't care. That's on them. I know I can't do it. Mm-hmm. And is it safer than alcohol? Probably. Alcohol is the most dangerous drug out there. And people act like it's not. Oh, no, fentanyl. Oh, no, heroin. If you really want to look at the stats of how many people die every day, alcohol wins. And tobacco as well. But I just think that, for me, is a very dangerous idea to even have in my head. Even though I'm not a bad person for having that idea, it just popped in there. Mm-hmm. And I think that was just a natural response. But I just have to know that that's not for me.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't stop at one.
Right.
Because I never wanted 2 glasses of wine. I wanted 100.
Yeah, but if you really like break it down and step back and like look at the whole thing, it's just like all you're doing is the end result is you're feeling under the influence.
Right.
That's so not to like sugarcoat it, but they're saying here you can feel under the influence, but technically you're not under the influence.
Because it's legal, man. Delta 8's legal.
That doesn't matter. You're under the influence. So like that to me is like using substances. It doesn't matter. It's just a different substance.
It is. So. Absolutely. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Yeah.
And also, before we jump off here, because I'm almost at 32 minutes, Mitch made his commercial for his cologne called Bear. Mm-hmm. And if you want to watch it, we have a a TikTok now. I tried making it for 217. Somehow I made it for myself. I have no idea. I posted it on there, and it's on Facebook too. Under my personal Facebook, but I think I tagged Mitch in it, and I'll probably put it on 217 Recovery because it's silly. It's fun in recovery. There was a story about Mitch, and I'm not going to make you go back and listen to the podcast, but there was a time that he might have wandered into the woods during a disc golf game because he had an emergency, which everybody in the world has had emergency number 2.
Right.
And he told us about it. That was his big mistake. He was telling us about it. And I saw the commercial from, it's Blue de Chanel, or it's from Chanel or whatever. Am I even saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a cologne. And it has the guy from Dune in it. And he's just looking all D-baggy, just
Stop it.
looking at the camera.
He's looking like he's supposed to look for a cologne commercial. That's what they were going for.
And I was ragging on it. I was like, man, I saw that. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's horrible. And I'm joking. And then they sent me a mailer that has, you can open it up. I think it was like Ulta or something. You open it up and you smell it. And I'm like, damn, that's actually pretty good. So then I had you buy it for me for Christmas. I like it.
Yeah.
But we thought we would make spoof commercials. And we were like sitting in the office one day, me, Mitch, Adam, and Justin. And I was like, we got to do that. And we started like joking about what cologne or what scent, what we would do. And I think Justin said his would be fabulous. Adam said he wanted his to smell like wood or something. And then Mitch got on the whole, like go in the woods. And then somehow it was like, there's a bear shit in the woods, that whole question. And so it took us back to the incident of emergency pooping in the woods, maybe, allegedly. And so we made a video with that. Mitch happened to have a bear costume, like helmet, head.
Happened to.
Bear head. So we went to the college and drove around. He drove around with it on his head for a little bit just to get the shots that we needed. It wasn't doing anything too unsafe. And then I, was practicing my movie making skills. So I got some pretty cool shots. The one with the mirror was pretty sweet. I was doing it. I was like, all right, Mitch, look up now. And he's like, oh, I know what you're doing. But it was interesting. I had the drone out, got some drone footage, and yeah. So just check it out. It's worth it. It really is.
It's funny. It's really funny.
It's inspired by a cologne commercial and a true event. Yeah. So keep that in mind when you watch it. So have fun. And remember, it's all about fun and recovery. Yeah. If you watch that video and go, these guys are hating life, they're not having any fun, then you clearly are not understanding the message of the video. Right. So enjoy it. And I should put it on the website too, just for people who don't have Facebook and TikTok and all that. So yeah, I'll add it to the website, 217recovery.com. By the time you go there, it will be there, and it'll be on our app as well. Yep. Enjoy that. And Marney, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and doing one from the home studio.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. We hope you come back for our next episode.